Hello. Hello, everybody. Mm. Smile. You're the only one that I want, and I'm addicted to your light. There's only one feel like falling. Who's that girl? Oh, okay. So I don't think it's on here. I can give it. Maybe somebody can give it to you. What is TikTok? Da 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 da. Da da da. Da 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 da. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it as which one that I want. I don't need this. Hold on. Oh, this is not a thing. Oh, there's nothing. We're gonna edit to 5. Okay, all right, I got that up. And let's.
Faut me dire nous arriver dans un moment pour nous prendre appel et à tout le monde, n'importe qui a aimé dédier en musique spéciale là, à un monde spécial, les radios, fait dédicace spéciale là. On y a New York et Paris qui a coûté nous surtout pas. Relez-nous et fais-nous connaître la musique que tu as aimé nous jouer. Allô, ça fait nous auditeur. Allô, il y a pas écouté. Il y a pas écouté.
Oh yeah, come on, baby. So far, I do this to say, I'm not pretending from such a bizarre baby. When I see how to give you, it's very good. I know I don't say it's good. I don't know. I'm not so I can't read a pulling. C'était vide, c'est dans la musique ça, avec mélodie ça. C'était. Hey, Housecoat. Ça, it's real fast.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good to hear. You all right? My oldest daughter is sick.
She's sick?
Yeah, I don't know if she got a summer cold or something. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So she's coughing. She's been coughing a lot.
Right.
But I don't even know how she got it because we didn't do nothing. I mean, we were out, but we didn't do nothing for her to get sick. I don't know. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes the kids just get sick. I don't know.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Yeah.
They will. Oh, I hope she feels better soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. She's happy with one thing because I don't do the screen time thing. Only when she's sick, so she's happy right now because she's
Okay. Right. That's a perk to being sick. A little extra screen.
She's like, oh, I get screen time because she knows. Oh, even though I'm, this generation's parents. I'm like, no, I'm gonna raise her like I was raised. No, we're not gonna have a tablet
Right.
all the time.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
but how's your week been going on so far?
It's going okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did school start yet?
No, actually we go back to work next week. I can't believe vacation is over.
Oh, next week.
Yeah,
Oh,
we go back next week and then the kids start on the 25th. So,
oh wow.
I know.
Oh wow. And up here they start the third.
Oh, okay. So you guys get Labor Day in there then, right after
Oh yeah.
Labor Day?
Yeah, right after. Yeah, we always get Labor Day.
Right.
And but that's me and my husband's anniversary, so my daughter still is gonna go
Oh,
back on the fourth.
oh, congratulations. Early congratulations. How sweet.
Yeah.
So how
So
many years will it be?
14.
Wonderful. That is beautiful.
Yeah, 16 years together, 14 years married.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I said you're gonna get an extra day because we're gonna be celebrating.
Exactly. Exactly.
We'll start the fourth.
Oh, how beautiful.
Let me send it to librarian too. I just wanted to make sure that we at least look legit before 9 o'clock starts. I came on a little early, but I said let me share it. I'm gonna share it to a few people.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna share it to a few people.
Let's see. Started by- Okay. Mm.
Okay. So I think I got hey Omar, hey Neil, welcome, welcome.
Mhm.
Let me make sure I share it to a few more people. And
Mhm.
then we'll start soon. I was just answering a text message.
Okay.
Yeah, people don't realize how busy I am. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I'll call you back when I'm off the phone. I'm like, I'm be doing a podcast. Peace out.
No, that's right.
And then after that, I don't really want to be talking to nobody. Once I'm done, I want to go to my bed. So,
Hmm. I
so
hear you.
it's like, hey Omar, how you doing?
Hi, hi. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, so I noticed he changed his name. I'm not gonna mess up your name, so I'm gonna still call you Omar.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I noticed he changed his name so I'm
Oh,
gonna
got you.
call him Omar. That's what we're gonna do.
See, Omar wouldn't have known who you are.
Yeah, it's because I remember seeing him on a live. That's
Okay.
why I recognized it. I was like, oh, that's Omar.
Okay.
Because
All right.
if I never saw him on that live, I would not know who it was.
Got you. Got you. Well, good to see you, Omar. Always.
So, yes. Hello, Neil. How are you? All right. So
Hi.
we can start. It's not that early. It's only about 5 minutes. Hey, Kate.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing, girl? Hold on 1 second. I see my daughter coming to me. What happened, babe? What happened? Okay, go lay down next to daddy, okay? Mommy's coming soon. Once mommy's done. Let me just reply. Let's see. And then, all right. So I think I did say hello to. Oh, I didn't say hello to Cake. Hello, Cake. All right.
Hey, Kate. Hey, everyone.
Okay. All right. So thank you everybody that is here. And so I first want to say I am HR Parent Support Club. I decided to build this page to help parents that have children with disabilities. And we also cater to parents that just need to vent as well. We have no problem because thankfully, not every parent has to deal with a child with disabilities. However, they have other things that they have to deal with children growing up, school, friends, other circumstances that regards children. So what we do is we try to provide as much information to parents. You'll see in some of my last posts, these are some of the activities that you can do with your children. The post that I have even before that, it talks about IEP and 504 plans. And those plans usually cater to children with disabilities due to different things that they have to, what they would need from the school system. So it's imperative that parents know these things so they can advocate for their children. So we try to put all that information out there because it is a lot of information to digest. We like on Tuesdays now at 9 o'clock, we usually have a guest. A lot of times it's a parent of a child that has autism or a parent of a child that has other diagnosis. However, today we have someone that works with children with disabilities, to narrow it down exactly, children that are blind. So we want to welcome our house coat grandma. She is actually a dear friend of mine's on TikTok. She is very accommodating, very nice, and she has a page herself where she gives encouraging words to literally everybody. So always check her out in the mornings. And I think sometimes you still go on afternoons. I know you go in the mornings.
Mostly in the mornings.
Mostly in the mornings, yeah. So check her out in the mornings, usually between 8 or 9 o'clock. She is on TikTok, so check her out, please, especially if you love positive. Notice I'm gonna say it again: positive people that will um, make you feel better, make you feel more encouraged. Um, so we just want to thank her for being here, and we also want to invite her here. So again, just to let you know ahead of time, she is on usually from 8 to 9 on her page, House Coat Grandma. I am on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, and I have a podcast that is called I Made Peace with Autism on Spotify. And we always do the lives here on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. So, with further ado, Miss Housecoat, you can introduce yourself. And
Well,
go ahead.
thank you so much. Thank you. You gave such a great introduction. There isn't much more to say. But thank you for having me on your podcast, HR.
Mhm.
Um, and, I really admire the work that you do and just your commitment to the community and just being a resource and being just a place for people to come, because one thing that I find with parents and family members of those with disabilities, they don't have enough resources, which include just having a community who understands what they're going through, somewhere where they can talk and people understand. So thank you for providing that, and just thank you for all that you do.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Um, if we just want to start, how did you start working with children with disabilities?
Yes, so I am a teacher of the visually impaired, and I am also a certified orientation and mobility specialist. So I work primarily with students with visual impairments and blindness. However, prior to working with students primarily with visual impairments and blindness, I worked in the school system as a media coordinator, as many may say, a librarian. And with that, you work with the whole school population, which includes students with a variety of disabilities. And even with my students with visual impairment and blindness, I have several who have multiple disabilities and diagnosis, including several students with autism. So the work that you're doing is very near and dear to my heart. Um, I believe in one thing that I learned personally with working with students and people in general with disabilities, that and the message I would like to give to others is that people are people, children are children, and to let's see people in that frame of mind and not see people as a disability. Don't look at their disability first, because they are people. Children are children, and they may have a disability that may make it a little more difficult for them to communicate or something differently, but at heart they are still children. People are still children. So let's just see and love others without labeling them. So
That's amazing. And I love what you said, because I think that's why a lot of times parents are even scared of saying what diagnosis their child has, because they're afraid of how the world or how people are going to see
yes,
them.
and
So
people will judge. Yes.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. And I really appreciate that you said that. So what are some of the challenges that you face working with children that have disabilities?
So some of the challenges I face, um, starting with adults, I would say when an adult, and unfortunately, even those within the educational system, once they hear that a student has a certain disability, some immediately start making judgments about what a student can or cannot do. And that is such a big mistake, because working with students, if you prejudge what they can or can't do, they will fool you almost every time. Um, so don't come into anything assuming what a person can or cannot do, and also assuming what they can or cannot understand. That's a big one as well, because people will sometimes talk in front of others thinking, oh, well, they don't understand me, when they may be nonverbal, but their brain is working fine, their hearing is working fine, their understanding works fine. So just be mindful. Um, if you would not want someone to treat you in a certain way, don't treat others in that way as well. Another obstacle I run into sometimes are parents. Now, parents love their children, they absolutely love them, but sometimes they're afraid to let them be independent. They are afraid of what may or may not happen. I can give you some examples. Um,
Oh, please do.
yeah, so I mentioned earlier that in addition to being a teacher of the visually impaired, which would include things like teaching students Braille or teaching them to use magnification devices or things of that nature to help them access their curriculum, I am also a certified orientation and mobility specialist, which is another branch of teaching the visually impaired. And what that involves is teaching people to be able to move safely within their environment. So if you see people with white canes in
Yeah.
public, I teach those skills. I also teach people who don't use white canes other strategies to be able to move and to navigate in public. So I've had several students who their parents would say they can't navigate by themselves. I have to hold their hand. Um, or they're not capable of learning how to move from this place to that place by themselves. They will get lost. And the parents are absolutely shocked when I tell them in an IEP meeting, when your child has O&M with me, I don't hold their hand. We're not using sighted guide. They are walking on their own. They navigate this school on their own. No one's holding their hand. No one is walking with them. They're going from place to place. And many parents are so flabbergasted. And many times they don't believe me. And I tell you what I did one time. I
Mm-hmm.
had a student who was totally blind. We refer to that as no light perception.
Okay.
And after an IEP meeting, I asked the mom to just stand outside of the school and wait for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and got her son and just pretended that we were doing just one of our usual O&M lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So she was standing there watching her son. We're walking up and down the sidewalk. We walked down to the street. We were navigating different things, walking a whole route as she stood there. And then so her son did not know that she was there until we got back. And she was just like, oh my God, I did not know he could do that. And so many times parents, and they do it out of love, and I absolutely understand that. But your child is probably much more capable than you're giving them credit for.
Mm-hmm.
You're just afraid to allow them to do it in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had that scenario play out in different ways and in different situations. Um, so you know, so so we find that with others in the educational system, parents, and I'm not saying that people are doing this intentionally. Sometimes we just have these biases and things that we're not aware of that we have. But just I'm just drawing, just bringing awareness to that. And if I may bring up one more situation, if that's
Sure.
okay, that
Yeah.
I've encountered
No
with
problem.
my students.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I had a student. I've had several students with this situation, but the specific student I'm speaking of, this happened a few years ago. So again, with orientation and mobility, we go out into the community with the students. So my students and I may go to the mall. We may go to, a store. We
Mm-hmm.
may go to the grocery store. We may go to a restaurant just so they can get used to being in public places, being independent, being able to either use their debit card or use cash, and just being able to handle themselves as an adult, even if they are totally blind. So
Mm-hmm.
this particular student um, had some vision, but none of it was functional vision, which means that, you know, he could probably see differences in maybe light and dark, maybe just a few other things, but the vision wasn't functional in the way that we think of it, as in he was not able to read with his vision. He wasn't able to distinguish any sort of details, things of that nature.
Okay.
So we were in Target one day, and in this particular Target, there was a Starbucks. And one of the perks of my students, and especially my seniors, um, sometimes I have to see them during their lunch periods because that's the only time available to see them. So if they um, agreed to seeing me during their lunch period, I usually will buy them lunch while we're out during our lessons. So anyway, long story short, we were at Starbucks, and it was his turn to order food at the counter,
Mhm.
and the person behind the counter kept looking at me for me to order for him,
Okay.
and was basically asking, what does he want? And I told her, well, I don't know, ask him. He can tell you what he wants.
Yeah.
And that's another perception. Sometimes people feel that if you have one disability, then that means especially that you probably have a cognitive
Yeah.
disability,
Yeah.
which is so untrue.
Yes.
Just because this student was functionally blind does not mean that there was anything going on with him cognitively, because this student was in AP classes. He was in the highest level of all classes that he was in high school. So there
Mhm.
was nothing going on cognitively. He just did not have functional vision. But of
Mhm.
course, this person did not know that. Um, she assumed that since I was with him, I guess, that I was his caretaker. So
Mhm.
she kept looking at me and asking me, well, what would he like to eat, or what does he want?
Mhm.
And I told her, well, I don't know what he wants. He's standing right there. Ask him. But also, it was a lesson for him, because he was so used to people
Mhm.
doing this for him and ordering for him or whatever, that he was willing to stand there and let me order. And I was like, no, I'm taking myself out of the way. You are an adult. You can order. You can let her know what you want to order. And plus, she needs to know that she can communicate with you directly. She does not need to go through me. So, and I know I'm going through a whole lot of different stories, but I'm just giving
That's
different
fine. Yeah.
scenarios
Mhm.
of things that I have encountered.
Mhm.
Yes.
No, that these are great examples because they do tend to speak to who they assume is the caregiver and disregard that individual, thinking that they may not understand. And as you use him for as a great example, he's in AP classes,
Mm-hmm.
so he understands very well, obviously.
Absolutely. He does.
So it's just that he unfortunately he doesn't see, but
Exactly.
it doesn't mean that he doesn't hear. It doesn't mean he can't speak.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean he doesn't comprehend.
Exactly.
There's something that you said that I really like. They always assume that that means that cognitively they don't understand either. And
Right.
even when they have cognitive setbacks, it does not
Mm-hmm.
mean they don't understand what's going on.
Absolutely.
One thing that I learned from very young is that sometimes when they don't see or they don't hear, their other senses is double or triple
Yes,
sensitive, and so they know things,
they do.
way better with their other senses. So never assume
Exactly.
they don't understand. So that's definitely another lesson that we can definitely explain to others, that don't assume just because this person has any disability, doesn't matter
Exactly.
that they don't understand or they don't comprehend. Let them show you what they don't understand.
Exactly.
Assume that they don't
Exactly.
understand something.
Exactly. And one of my rules of thumb, HR, that I like to do
Mhm.
is, because I believe that the person deserves the respect of being spoken to anyway.
Mhm.
So start off with speaking to them, and then if additional help is needed, let it, come in. But
Yes.
always start off by acknowledging
Mhm.
the person as a person. Don't assume ever anything.
Mhm.
So, mhm.
No, definitely. I think that's definitely great advice. Do not assume that the person doesn't understand, and don't, just give them that respect. And
Exactly.
yeah,
Just the respect, because they are a person,
they are.
whether they understand or whatever their level of understanding is or isn't. They are still a person, and they have the right to be addressed as a person.
Correct. What are some of the training that you receive that you use to help these children that have different disabilities?
Yes. So, um, so the training that I have received, so again, I will go back to, I've been in the education system a long time. I've been in the school system for over 20 years. And I spent many years as a school librarian, where again, we worked with students. Well, we worked with all students in the school. So there were school based trainings that we had to complete. Also, with being in um, um, getting my degrees in special education. My last degree is
Okay.
in special education, with a concentration in visual impairments. So, of course, with a special education degree, you must take several classes in disabilities and how that presents, how it looks, how you are to handle yourself, how to handle yourself with the students, and what I find to be the best experience is just or the best training is the hands-on experience working with the students, because
Mm-hmm.
you may, for instance, if we're speaking about students with autism,
Mm-hmm.
you can have many trainings on students with autism.
Mm-hmm.
However, each student that you meet is going to present in different ways. They're going to have different needs. So the hands-on experience with the students, getting to know the students, developing the relationships with the students. And that is what I have found in my 20 plus years
Mm-hmm.
is relationships are everything. Relationships are everything. So developing those relationships, learning what the students need and what they don't need, the things that are helpful to them, the things that are not helpful to them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you may have a student who just may need that quiet time in the corner on the pillow to themselves. Give them that time and not force them to be in a cookie cutter situation and everyone has to do this. If you know that you have a student that needs certain things, they may need some quiet time in a place that maybe is a little darker, that's away from everything, that is quieter, providing those spaces, providing those times for them to be able to have that. So basically, having the relationship with the students, learning, collaborating with their other teachers, collaborating with their parents, finding out, talking to the parents, well, what do you see at home? What's happening at home? Or this is happening at school. What do you do when this happens at home? What are some things that are motivating? What are some things that they like? What are things that they don't like?
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things. So all of those things have contributed to the my work with students, and also when students know that you genuinely care, that you love them, that they are important to you, that
Mm-hmm.
they matter, and also that they matter even if they're not behaving their best that day. They still matter, and you still love them. I
Mm-hmm.
have found that that has been one of the most powerful tools ever, just within, and which also goes back to relationship. You can be the best teacher in the world. However, if you are not able to resonate with that student, if you're not able to relate and have a relationship with that student, you're only going to get so far, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what their abilities are. It doesn't matter what their abilities are. However, if they know that you care and that you love them and that that you're working towards their good,
Mm-hmm.
then that student will do a lot more for you and they will try a lot harder. And and even if they're not able to quite get there, they're going to try to get there because
Mm-hmm.
they know that you care and that
Mm-hmm.
you're there for them.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I hope that that answered your question.
Oh no, that definitely answered the question. But that's another part that I do like that you brought up. is I always tell people that children with disabilities, whether it's from autism, from cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, you name it, they know when you're fake.
Yes, they
They know
do.
it. They have a sixth sense. They know when you're fake and they know when you're genuine. And when you're genuine, they love you. They'll fight for you too.
Absolutely.
While you're
Absolutely.
advocating for them, they'll fight for you too. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so I definitely agree with you saying when they will thrive because they see that you care.
Yes.
They will
Yes.
listen to you. They will work with you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also the other side. If they feel that you're fake, they don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They won't care what you're saying. You should be
Exactly.
saying the best thing ever. They could care less.
Exactly.
They're not.
Doesn't matter.
They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to respond to that. So I do also like the fact that you brought that up too, because that is something. Even if someone wants to work in that field, just know if you're not a real person, do not even bother, because they can tell.
You can only do it for the love of it, because if you do not do it for the love of it, you will burn out so fast.
Hmm.
But your love for your kids will, keep driving you even when you are tired, even when you're in these IEP meetings and you have to fight against people who, are trying to shortchange your kids. Your kids, and you hear me say your kids because, you love these kids and they love you,
Hmm.
and they truly become your children. You refer to them as your kids, like my kids. They are my kids, and I feel that their parents are entrusting them with me
Hmm.
during the school day, and I take that very seriously, and I'm very passionate about that.
Hmm.
And so my kids are important to me,
Hmm.
just like my biological and my children,
Hmm.
our real life children are, because I feel, and I'm getting, I'm kind of veering off, so I'm gonna make this real short so we get back on topic.
Hmm.
But I feel that to a degree, once you become a mother, you become a mother to everybody. There's no way that I can see another kid being hurt, mistreated, or whatever, because I'm hoping, although my children are adults, but I'm hoping when I'm not around that there's someone that's looking out for my kids. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for your kids.
Hmm.
And especially our underrepresented kids,
Hmm.
and our kids with all of the labels, and all the kids that people have such low expectations of, and those sorts of things. They are very near and
Hmm.
dear to my heart. And so yeah, but I'm gonna reel it back in. I know I'm kind of getting out there,
No, no, no.
but
I understand what you're saying. I definitely do
yeah, but
understand.
my kids are my kids, and I love my children that I see.
Hmm. I definitely understand what you're saying because um, there's a few things, and like you said, it's not that's not the topic, but there's a few things that I have done since I became a mother for children that are not my
Right.
kids,
Exactly.
and it's because I'm a mother. So it's like
Exactly.
I can't just see you, walking
Exactly.
away and not say something or do something.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, I do definitely understand that
Hmm.
connection.
Hmm.
What are some of the experiences that you had that I would say either change your view on things or maybe made you a little more open or made you learn? So something that would broaden your horizons, put it that way.
I would say this. Again, I would say, I spent a lot of years as a librarian,
Hmm.
but being a teacher, the visually impaired, really brought a lot of things into my sphere, if you will, that I had not had a lot of experience with before. For instance, students with multiple disabilities and severe disabilities,
Hmm.
students with, say, nonverbal students, say, students with cerebral palsy, students with um, students who have to be fed by G-tube,
Yeah.
just many different ones. And I have this kind of funny story. It puts a smile on my face every time I think about it. And again, this is a student from several years ago. Um, I was working in this school that is dedicated to students with multiple disabilities,
Mm-hmm.
the whole school. It was called an education center. And I had this one student, he was in middle school at the time. Um, and this student, was not happy with me because when I would come to get him for O&M, it was usually around the time when his class was having like morning meeting time, like when they're discussing things, singing songs and stuff, that would usually be around the time that I would get him, pull him out for orientation and mobility
Mm-hmm.
class. And speaking of kids being kids, so again, this boy is like a teenager at the time, middle school, probably seventh, eighth grade, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he was nonverbal, had several impairments, things of that nature. But it puts a smile on my face because when I talk about kids being kids, every time I would come go to get him, he would just give me this look like, oh my goodness, not you. I mean, he was like, just like, so, like, just like, oh my goodness,
Not
you
you
again,
again. Yeah.
And, so just the look on his face, like, why did you have to come today? So it's so funny to me because number one, it's that same kind of teenagery, kind of, look that, these kids have, and his expression was so clear. So there was no doubt about what he was feeling. Now, he was a nice kid, of course. And, he would come with me. He didn't give me any problems, and we'd do what we do. But his face was just so full of expression. Like every time he would see me in that door, we're like, not you again. Why are you here? And so it just, but anyway, working with him and other students, that really, there's another student that was in, oh goodness, was this another educational center? Was it the same one? Because this particular place, county that I worked in had several of these schools. I think it was the same educational center. So there was another kid, but he was on the younger end of the school, and um, he just had um, the most beautiful smile. Every time you saw him, he was never in a bad mood. And this was a student who could not walk. He was nonverbal. Um, and I don't remember his, diagnosis at this point because all of this has been several years ago. But this student always had a beautiful smile on his face, no matter what you did with him. Just always in a good mood, always smiling. And um, by working with this population, and this was the first population I worked with once becoming licensed as a teacher of the visually impaired.
Okay.
Um, and that's where I learned that children are children, people are people, not to even think about the disability, because people, each one of these students had their own personalities. Whatever their, abilities were, they had their own personalities, they had their own preferences, they had things that they were willing to do, things that they were not willing to do. They would let you know what they were willing to do and what they were not willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just the same personalities, the same things as all of the rest of it, or the rest of us, just communicated in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that working with those populations so freshly out of school, um, that's what changed me. That's what helped me to learn, helped me to know that, again, people are people, and just get to know the person, who they are, their personality, their likes, their dislikes, how they communicate, and just go from there.
That's great. That's definitely great. Definitely great. If you know, if anyone that's watching, or one advice that you would give to someone that wants to work with children with disabilities, what advice would you give them?
Um, it's really simple. And my advice that I kind of give to everything and everybody, just love them, and just love them because, before you could teach anyone anything, you're going to have to develop the relationship first because no one really wants to hear what you have to say. No one's really even caring about that
Mm-hmm.
until they know that you have some stake in the game, that you care something about them, that you're not just here for a paycheck. If I, can I tell? I know I tell too many stories, but may I tell another
Yeah, you could
story? Is
tell
that
them.
okay?
Yeah.
Uh,
Mhm.
um, I worked at this school one time, and this has nothing to do with any particular disability or anything, just a regular school. Worked at this school, and this school was mainly populated by children, African American children. Well, basically, the whole school was African American. I don't think we had any other races in the school, actually.
Okay.
Um, and the students came basically from a housing project in my city.
Hmm.
And so, there were a lot of problems there in the school. And so, people who were not able to form relationships with these children and parents, they
Hmm.
usually didn't stay more than a year. And many times they didn't last a whole year. Many of them didn't even last until Christmas.
Yeah.
Um, and so that first year was, very difficult for me because you know how that first year everybody's trying you to see what they can get away with, what can happen. But when they saw that I came back the next year and the next year, I developed so many lasting, beautiful relationships. Like some of those kids that were in that elementary school have graduated from high school.
Yeah.
Some of them are in high school now, and they see me and they run up and they hug me and are just like, but I struggled that first year because everybody was trying me. It was always, but the thing is, you got to love them. You got
Hmm.
to, develop relationships with the families if you can.
Hmm.
Um, the parents and the family are going to be your greatest allies. Collaborate with the classroom teachers, um, and just collaborate with everyone that
Hmm.
is working with that student. Let that student know that you care, even if the student is having a off day and they're just not behaving, very well that day.
Yeah.
Come back the next day. Okay, we got a fresh start today. I don't know what happened yesterday, but we starting over today.
Hmm.
Because just like we have bad days, everybody has a bad day, and as adults, we try to hide and mask it, but children, they don't hide and mask as well. So, and neither should they,
Hmm.
So you're just going to get what you get from them. But just know that, hey, tomorrow's another day. So that would be my biggest advice to just, get to know the families, get to know the classroom teachers and the other teachers that work with them. All of you work together as a team um, to provide what the students need, and that's students with or without disabilities.
Disability. All right. And so what educational advice you would give them? Like, should they get training? Should they get a degree? What kind of educational experience would you encourage them to get?
Okay. Yes, absolutely. Get training, because as an educational professional, um, you're a lifelong learner. You must be a lifelong learner because new things are being developed, new things, new discoveries are being made. So, yes, so definitely, whether you're going to workshops, whether your school is having an in-house thing, whether you're finding things on the internet that you can be a part of.
Mhm.
Absolutely, continually get training.
Mhm.
Now, um, if you are not a classroom teacher, you want to be a classroom teacher, I'm pretty sure you're going to need to go to school and take classes. You will have state certification exams or national certification exams that you would need to pass. But I would say just start off. If you're not sure if this is what you would like, start off small. Start not nothing is small, but I'm saying like start off maybe volunteering. And if that goes well, then maybe you will work up to, maybe you wouldn't mind being a teacher's assistant, or or gaining more responsibility.
Mhm.
And I know that my school system has programs where teachers' assistants can work towards getting their teaching license and degree while being paid in the classroom. So maybe look for things like that
Mhm.
as you are gaining more and more experience. So, it's up to you how much um, um, education you would like to get as far as university or things at that level, but
Mhm.
always continue to learn, because there's always more to learn. And some of your biggest lessons are going to take place just working with people with disabilities, because I not only work with children, um, excuse me, through my work with those with visual impairments, I've had students from ages about 2.5, almost three, up to 95. So, and
Oh
everything
wow,
in
that's a
between.
big. That's a
So,
big
yes.
range.
So yes, I think I've seen almost every stage of life. So,
Yeah.
so yes. So, so just decide and just figure out, what works with you, and know that working with those with disabilities, there's a wide range. And I think mostly what you need is just to have a heart for loving people and wanting to help. And there will be a place for you in there. So just find your place.
Okay, I think that is absolutely great advice. And this would be the last question, but what have you learned, and what do you hope to continue doing in the future?
You know, again, I think I have just learned, just in general,
Hmm.
um, lead with love,
Hmm.
um, love people, respect everyone, love everyone. Um, And what do I hope to do in the future? I really love working with those with visual impairments and blindness.
Okay.
That is, I kind of fell into that accidentally.
Hmm.
But now that I have fallen into it, I absolutely love it. I feel like that is my calling. So I hope that for as long as I am physically or mentally able, that I will be able to do that. Um, so I would just like to continue to do that. But as an extension of that, I just want to be in a position where I can be helpful to people in whatever manner that may be. I love to teach. Teaching is another one of my callings. I absolutely love teaching. So wherever I can find an audience that will listen to me, you can see I'll talk forever. I may not be talking about what you want to hear, but I will certainly get up there on the board with some markers, and I will talk to you, and I'll draw some stuff on that board for you.
We enjoy
So,
it.
I'm sorry.
I said we enjoy it, so we're
Oh,
right.
well, thank you, thank you. So any spaces where I can be helpful, where I think that one of my superpowers is, and I didn't even realize this was a superpower until just a few years ago. But one of my superpowers is that it is easy for me to love people. It's easy for me to connect. It's easy for me to feel empathy for people. I feel like that gets me in trouble sometimes, but mostly it is good.
Yeah.
And, and I have learned that not everybody has that ability. So I'm very thankful to have that ability. So, however, I am led to be able to use that gift to impact someone's life. That's what I hope to continue doing in the future.
Oh, you have a beautiful comment here that says, you can just hear the love in her voice. Have
Oh, thank
one
you.
person with a sweet spirit.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I have to say, that's truly her.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Nice. And what I would definitely say of just listening to you and, is that, and if I can encourage anybody that has the same qualities you have, it is a blessing to work with children with disabilities.
Mhm.
And it's not because of their disabilities, it's because of what you're going to learn from them.
Yes.
And if you have someone such as House Coat that loves what they're doing, you'll be amazed how far a lot of these children and adults,
Yes.
you tend to say children, but a lot of the adults learn a lot too when they are around people that care and that
Mhm.
wants the best for them. They will do things you would not imagine them doing.
Mhm. So
Um,
true.
and I really want to thank you, House Coat, because as Anisha, if I'm saying her name correctly, said, you can tell that this is something you want to do. You're not forced to do it. You're
Mhm.
not doing it for money. This is
No.
something that you like, and you love
Yes.
children. You love adults. You love people, and you
I
just
do.
want to be the best for people. And
Yes.
it's definitely a great thing to do. And this is what we are about. We are talking to parents, we're talking to grandparents. If anybody's a grandparent that has a child with disability too, let us know. We are here because we want to spread the word. We want to make it easier for parents that have disability. We want to make it easier for grandparents, aunts and uncles, whoever is caring for children or adults that have disabilities. We're trying to make it easier, or giving them a safe space for them to get that information, for them to vent, for them to find out what other parents do. Um, in the short time that I've been interviewing different parents, I have a list of things that I want to do. And then speaking to you today, it makes me see that we have to look for more professionals like you. Because if our kids are in your hand, we can be safe. We can feel comfortable
Absolutely.
because we know that they have professionals like you. Everything is going to go well. But we thank you so much for taking your time out, because I know you have a very busy schedule, and we appreciate you um, taking the time and talking about these different things that you do, um, and just you know we enjoy listening to you because you have beautiful stories.
Thank you.
You brought out good points, and if you have any last things that you want to say, feel free to say that.
I just want to thank you for your platform and thank you for bringing attention to populations that are so underserved and who are not getting the attention or the money or the resources that they need. So many parents and caregivers are so overwhelmed. So, thank you for providing this space that they can come to and get resources and they can talk about their lived experiences, and where all the rest of us can also hear the lived experiences. So, thank you for all that you do. You are very sweet, and I just really appreciate your friendship. And thank you for indulging me as you listen to my stories. I probably rambled more than I
Oh no.
contributed tonight, but thank you for this platform.
Yes. No, no, no. We loved it, and I love hearing different perspective because I'm getting the professional perspective. So we definitely enjoy getting that perspective. And again, she is house coach, grandma. She has her platform, and she's usually on in the morning. So check her out, please. And as for me, I am HR Parent Support Club. Again, I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I am on Twitch. I am on TikTok, of course. I have a podcast that I made peace with autism on Spotify, where you can hear audio, but you can see the live on YouTube. Same name, HR Parent Support Club. So we are here to encourage all the parents, get the resources. If you look at my page, of course, you're going to see fun stuff because I do fun stuff with my daughters too, and I like to do my little silly stuff as well. But you'll also see resources for activities you can do with your children. And like our last post is about the difference between IEP and 504 plan. So please check that out and let us know if anyone else knows someone that would love to speak out. We always do this on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. All right. So thank you again, Grandma, for
Thank
stopping by.
you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Yes. All right. So I am about to log off, but thank you again. Okay. And everyone have a good night.
You too.
All right. Bye bye.